It's 10K doing a little check-in with y'all. Tell them get you.
Yeah. Turn it all up.
We are here with 10k.Zuri, who's just released her first EP, As the World Turns, giving the people the music that they need during this quarantine. She's here to give us some insight on the project and her life and creative process. So, how do you feel since the EP's dropped?
Man, I'm satisfied with the EP. I mean, sure, I felt like so many emotions, like I've been happy, I've been anxious and sad, but overall, I'm genuinely satisfied with it because I feel like people appreciate it. And, you know, they're really receptive of it, and that's all I wanted, you know what I'm saying? So, especially for it being my first project.
What inspired the EP?
So, what inspired the EP, you know, this previous year was my first year away at school. And, you know, I faced a lot of hardships, and one of them being a really, tough breakup, I guess you would say. The breakup forced me to reevaluate everything in my life, you know, not to be dramatic or anything, but it really did. 5th grade, I had this science teacher, and he said that relationships are a waste of time. At the time, I was like, wow, he's really angry. But he said that all the time and effort we put into cultivating relationships and trying to get people to understand them, all for them to just in the end, you know, we could have spent making, you know, bettering ourselves or making the world a better place. So I realized how much time I had wasted, and I was like, I'm gonna, you know, spend time working on my craft, and I'm gonna finally drop projects and stop holding back on myself, you know what I'm saying? It was a heartbreaking time, but I feel like it was necessary. It's changed me in so many ways. So,
what inspired the EP's title?
For the artwork, the world is on fire. You know what I'm saying? So I know that you would probably be like, why isn't it called As the World Burns? But I decided to go with As the World Turns because, like I said, it was my first year of college. Going through the things that I went through, whether it was relationship-wise, friendship-wise, and just adjusting to a new environment. But then also, this has been a pretty terrible year, you know what I'm saying? I don't have to mention COVID, but I mean, the Australian wildfire, the Amazon was on fire, the locust plague. It just seemed like there were so many natural disasters, so many horrendous things going on, sex trafficking, crimes. I mean, I was like, man, while I'm trying to get it together and go to school and everybody's doing their own thing, you know, as the world turns and goes in its natural orbit, it's on fire. It's all crashing down before our very eyes, and either we're too oblivious to see it or we just don't care.
So, I see that you released a few singles with In West. So, how long have you been rapping?
I've been rapping since 10th grade, so for a while, but not too long.
Who were some of your biggest music inspirations?
Man, I'm a huge fan of J. Cole. He is definitely my favorite artist from this generation. I love Kendrick Lamar too. Some of my favorite older artists are Nas, Big L, and Cannabis. Those my top 3 lyricists, you know what I'm saying? Even in R&B, I love Erykah Badu, Mary J. Blige, Lil Jodeci, so yeah.
And also, how do you get into your creative process when you go into a creative project or a song?
The thing about my creative process is that it's very sporadic. I can just sit in the car or really be anywhere and listen to beats, and like that I come up with a melody. I don't really have a set process or anything, but usually I'm always alone when I'm working on music. I can't really work on it with other people. I have to go through it by myself.
And also, what's your favorite song off the EP?
That's a hard question. Oh, man. My top 3 are Halftime, Discontinued, and Time. But if I had to choose, I would choose Halftime for sure. I love Halftime just for the fact that I feel like it's a different side of 10K. It's very cocky and arrogant, and I'm not a cocky or arrogant person. But on that song, I was I'm gonna talk my shit, and I feel like I did that, you know, to the fullest extent. So,
and what's your least favorite song on the EP?
Pop Shit.
Do you think it's more of a general radio song?
I don't think it's a bad song at all. It's just very generic.
So going into the songs, just going more into depth with the lyrics, we're going to start off with Breaking Free. I see at the time that you released it, you first released Breaking Free was a single, but I noticed at the time that there were a lot of heartbreak songs going around, especially from a lot of our local RVA artists. What inspired the song?
Man, what inspired that song was a heartbreak that I went through. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just really affected me. So even though I was the one that walked away, that didn't change the degree of the pain I went through. I was with Kwabena actually when I wrote Breaking Free. I had talked to him about the situation, and he was like, let's write about it. And I was like, I don't think that's a good idea, but okay. We heard the beat, and we were freestyling over it. I told her to stay in his room and write a version of the song. And I went into the other room and wrote my own version, and we would come back together and see whose version we like better. While I was writing Breaking Free, like by the time I get to the second verse, like I just broke down crying. It was at that moment that I realized how much pain I was actually in. I was like, damn. You know what I'm saying?
So following up with that question, how long do you think it takes one to get over heartbreak?
Well, I don't think that anybody ever gets over it if you really love that person and care about it. I still think about it. I wouldn't say I'm 100% over it, but I'm better than I was when I wrote Breaking Free. So.
Also, who helped you on the song?
I got some help from Kwabena and Shelby. Shelby, shout out to her. She's a phenomenal singer. She sung the whole song, man. Like, I didn't even know that girl from a can of paint. Like, I DM'd her on Instagram. I was like, yo, I got this song. Could you come sing on it? She met up with me, and, you know, we knocked that thing out of the park. And then Kwabena, you know, he did the background vocals here and there. But he mixed and mastered it, so shout out to them.
All right. In the song, I quote, "If I ever get the chance to love again, I promise that I'm not giving up again." What did you learn from that experience that you would apply to your next relationship?
I would say from that experience, I learned that communication is key. I know that that sounds very cliche, but I think there's a difference between hearing somebody and listening to them. And when you listen to them, you need to listen with the intent to understand them. Because if you can't do that, it's like a huge roadblock.
Also in this song, you say, "Wishing things have went a different way. I can't explain it." Can you go a little more in depth with that lyric?
And even though I was the one that walked away, that was like the last choice that I wanted to make, and I ended up having to make it. When I wrote that line, I was really in tears when I wrote that line. None of this is to throw that person under the bus or anything like that. I still care for them and hope they're doing well and stuff, but you know, it was just a very strenuous time. So
moving on to our next song, Halftime. Seems to be a fan favorite. You said in your verse, "I must have slid in with precision the way I did it, and he didn't." Do you compare yourself to other rappers or artists in general?
I never ever compare myself, whether it's a local artist or big time artist. I never compare myself to anybody. I'm always competing with myself, seeing if I can outdo myself. When you start comparing yourself to other artists, then you might pick up on things that they do and try to mimic them, and it limits you from your creativity. So I don't do that.
And also, who inspired the outro of this song? Do you really have a bone to pick with anybody?
I mean, not anybody in particular, but like I remember when I wrote. Well, Halftime was actually originally a freestyle, and that was one of the parts that I decided to keep. So when I was like freestyling, I was just thinking about like all the people who had like pissed me off that week, and so that's how it just came out. You know what I'm saying? In a broader sense, like I really do like hate when people waste my time. Like that is one of my biggest pet peeves. Don't do that. And I don't like when people be faking and stuff like that. Like what is you snatching for? You know what I'm saying?
Also, the song tends to like fade out, but you're still going. Is that the end of the song, or are you going to give us like a full-length version on another project?
That's the end of Halftime as far as I'm concerned.
So going with Discontinued, what experience make it like worth rapping about?
Pain music, like any type of painful or traumatic experience, if you can put that in music in a way in which people can relate to it, that's always going to be worth writing about because it builds a connection between the artist and the listener. That's my biggest thing.
Also, what do you think got you to the state of mind that you felt discontinued? And also, like, what's the meaning of it being discontinued?
You know, this is one of the tracks that like I was skeptical about putting on there because it's very like intricate to me, and it's like a little trip inside my mind. To be discontinued, it means to be like burnt out mentally exhausted. I became like apathetic, and I really didn't care anymore, you know what I'm saying? But I still wanted to write something, so I was like, I guess I'll write about that. For me, like discontinued, the whole song is just a basis of that, you know what I'm saying? Just like me going back and forth with myself, you know, especially the part when I was like besimmering dread and slithering in pits of regret, an imminent threat, considering my infinite stress, envisioning death with sentiments that sent to the best. Like that is like, of all the lines I've ever written, that's like probably my favorite bar, or like a top 5 definitely, because I feel like it really captures how I just fight myself on a daily basis, you know what I'm saying? It might seem like I'm doing fine, but nah, every day, man, like it's really a battle. So
following up with that, statement. How do you keep yourself in a positive state of mind, or what practices do you have to like keep yourself mentally healthy?
Music is really the most important thing that I use to, keep myself from falling off into the deep end. Honestly, I try and meditate here and there, but it's just I'm impatient and I'm antsy, so I can't sit still for long and be like, I can't do that. So.
And also, can you explain the verse that starts off with, "You want to be the one to try to create," and etc.?
You wanna be the one to try and create, niggas remake, niggas degrade, niggas.
Song. Like, I really did just let it rip. There's no one I'm talking about in particular. I was just referencing the world as a whole, because I feel like society tries to make people fit into a certain mold or standard, or feel like they have to be this way, they have to fit into this category or label. I was just fed up. I was like, yo, man, like, enough of that. I just feel like the world tries to pressure us into trying to be something we don't want to be. We die inside before we really die physically. A lot of times people let their dreams die, their talents die. And so that's another reason why the EP was so important. Even if it's just one project release, just getting some of it out there. So
going into time and empathy, what was your reason to having an interlude at the time?
Time is like right under halftime in terms of favorite tracks, because it's different from the rest of the tracks. Since it was something so different, I wanted it to have a little interlude, you know what I'm saying? Like, for the project itself, the whole EP, I wanted there to be parts of me talking to the listener and giving them a brief look into like how I process things and what I'm thinking.
What made you want to switch up the beat, like the style for Time?
So for me, like, Time, like the beat, like, I was like, I have to put this beat on the EP. Like, before I even wrote anything, I was like, this is going on the EP for sure. Definitely. It wasn't really like, I want to switch it up and be different. It was like, I just felt like it belonged, so.
And also, what's the most important thing that you want everybody to take away from the EP?
The most important thing that I want people to take from this EP is that I suffer too, whether it's externally, internally, you know what I'm saying? I go through things, even though I might, just be looking all cool, calm, and collected. Like, I really be fighting with myself every day. And so there are listeners out there that feel like they can relate to that. I just want them to know that, they're not alone, no matter how old you are, where you come from, you know what I'm saying? Music is like one of the best tools you can use to relate to people. Definitely just wanted to use my music as a channel for that, so.
Do you have anything to say to your fans?
Yo, like, man, this is crazy, because like when I first started rapping and making music, like, I didn't even think that I would really like get to the point where like I could be like I had fans and stuff. And it's not to say like I have a gigantic fan base or anything, but to people that do listen to my music and they support what I do and stuff, like, it means the world to me, and I love y'all from the bottom of my heart, really. You know what I'm saying? Just be on the lookout for more content. Thank you for rocking with me, you know what I'm saying? Hey. And it's 10K doing a little check-in, you know what I'm saying? Go stream that As the World Turns, the EP, on all streaming platforms. 10K out.